This is the Chiropractic Marketing Podcast, an on-demand talk radio show that covers internet marketing best practices for chiropractors. I'm your host, Dr. Patrick McNamara. Welcome, everyone, to episode number 86 of the Chiropractic Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Patrick McNamara, and today I want to talk about why so many chiropractors who invest real money in SEO end up disappointed by it. And it's almost never for the reason they think. Here's the pattern I see over and over. A chiropractor hires an SEO agency. They pay a monthly retainer. The agency runs a keyword analysis, writes some blog posts, builds a few citations, maybe touches up some title tags. 6 months go by, rankings move a little, the phone doesn't. And the practice concludes one of two things. Either SEO doesn't work for chiropractors, or their market is just too competitive, or the agency they hired wasn't skilled enough. 9 times out of 10, none of that is actually true. The real problem is almost always structural, and it goes back much further than the agency they hired. Chiropractic SEO is not a service you bolt onto an existing website. It's an architectural decision that gets made or missed the day that website is built. The practices that consistently sit at the top of Google's organic results and the map pack aren't there because they found a better agency somewhere. They're there because their website was built with the technical and structural requirements that search engines actually reward, and because someone has kept that foundation intact ever since launch. So let's talk about what that foundation actually requires, because it's not complicated once you see it laid out. The website has to meet a set of baseline technical requirements before any optimization work can produce meaningful results. Core Web Vitals, Google's page experience signals, are a direct ranking factor. A chiropractic website that loads slowly or shifts around as it renders gets penalized relative to one that doesn't. And that's not something you patch with a plugin after the fact. It gets solved during the build through the right decisions about hosting, image handling, and code structure. Then there's schema markup, the structured data written into a site's code that tells Google and AI platforms exactly what your practice is, where it's located, what you treat, and what you offer. Organization schema, local business schema, medical business schema, FAQ page schema. Each one adds a layer of clarity that helps match your practice to the searches your future patients are actually running. Practices with complete, accurate schema consistently outperform the ones without it, and it has to be built into the site's architecture, not sprinkled on top after launch. And then there's content architecture, whether your site demonstrates real topical expertise or just a scattering of pages. A homepage and 3 generic condition pages doesn't tell Google you're an expert in anything. A properly structured site with real depth on the conditions you actually treat and internal links that reinforce those relationships tells a completely different story. Now, here's the part I really want you to sit with today, because it's the piece that trips up almost everybody. Patients don't search for a chiropractor in just one place anymore. 5 years ago, ranking on page 1 of Google's organic results was basically the whole game. Today, chiropractic SEO has to cover 3 separate channels at once, and a website that performs well in one but not the others is leaving a real chunk of potential patients on the table. The first channel is Google's organic search results, still the highest volume channel for new patient acquisition. This is the long game: strong technical foundation, condition-specific content that speaks directly to what patients are typing in, and a steady drumbeat of new content that deepens your authority over time. It compounds, and it keeps paying off long after the initial work is done. The second channel is Google Maps and local search, and for a lot of practices, this is actually where the more immediate new patient calls come from. Landing in the top 3 map pack results for chiropractor near me in your area captures the lion's share of high-intent local searches. That ranking is shaped by your Google business profile, by citation consistency, and critically, by how well your website and your profile line up with each other. This isn't 2 separate strategies running in parallel. It's one connected system, and I've gone deeper on exactly how that connection works in a previous episode, which I'll link in the show notes. The third channel is AI search, and this is the one growing the fastest right now. When a patient asks Claude, Perplexity, or Google's AI overviews for a chiropractor recommendation in their area, that answer is being pulled from structured data, authoritative content, and consistent information across the web, not from a traditional ranking algorithm working through a list of links. Practices with complete schema, real condition-specific depth, and consistent information everywhere are the ones getting cited. Practices without that foundation are simply invisible in this channel, and it's a channel that's only getting bigger by the month. AI visibility isn't a separate initiative you layer on top. It's what happens naturally when the technical foundation, the schema, and the content authority are all already in place. Here's the thing that ties all 3 of these together, and it's the point I want to leave you with today. Chiropractic SEO is never really a finished project. Google updates its algorithm regularly. Core Web Vitals thresholds shift. New competitors show up in your market and start optimizing aggressively. WordPress itself creates technical debt if nobody's actively managing it. A website that ranked beautifully at launch will drift if there's no one actively maintaining the foundation that produced those rankings in the first place. This is exactly why the managed platform model exists at chiropractic marketing websites. Every site we build stays actively maintained month after month. The WordPress updates, the security monitoring, the quarterly Core Web Vitals audits, direct access to the team that actually built it. The people who built your SEO foundation are the same people maintaining it, which means they know exactly where every schema property lives and exactly what it would take to compromise the rankings they built. That's not something a new agency can offer you when they're inheriting a site they didn't build. And once that foundation is in place and being actively maintained, that's exactly where DCRank picks up. Google Business Profile Management, ongoing content production, and the AI visibility strategy that turns a strong foundation into consistent new patient volume across all 3 channels. CMW builds the platform. DCRank drives the traffic and the authority that platform was built to support. Neither one does the other's job, and neither one works at full strength without the other. There are 2 things I want you to take action on after this episode. First, if you've been investing in SEO and not seeing results, go take an honest look at your website before you blame the strategy. If your website isn't built for this, that's where everything starts. So go to chiropracticmarketingwebsites.com to see if your market is available. Second, if your foundation is solid and you're ready to put the full search everywhere optimization strategy to work on top of it, head over to DCRank.com. That's DCRank.com. All right, that wraps things up for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Chiropractic Marketing Podcast. Before you go, remember to subscribe to my podcast on your favorite platform. Whether it's Apple Podcasts, Audible, YouTube Podcasts, Spotify, or others, I've got you covered. If you need to see a full list of supported platforms, simply visit chiropracticmarketingpodcast.com. Last but certainly not least, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Apple Podcasts. Your reviews not only help build awareness of what I'm talking about, but also give me a good indication of how I'm doing. Be nice, be fair, but definitely be honest. I would greatly appreciate it, and so will future listeners. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.